back pocket speech. Marcey is a Toastmaster, trainer, and decision coach. Her speech today is entitled, Time is Important. Please welcome Marcey Walsh speaking, Time is Important.
Time is important, which is why I appreciated the fact that it only took 4.1 seconds for Google to tell me that there were over 370,000 references when you type in the phrase time management. And it was just as quick when I went into Amazon and found out that there are over 3,600 books on the topic of time management. How many of you have ever taken a class or read anything about time management? With over 3,000 books on time management, how could there possibly be anything that we don't already know about time management? Well, the problem is, every single one of those books should have a disclaimer. Every single one of those books should have a disclaimer that says, disclaimer, this book contains 0 strategies or recommendations to manage time. Because it's kind of like training a cat. If you've ever trained your cat to come when you call it for dinner, you think you have trained the cat. However, the cat has trained you to call them when you have food for them to eat. You cannot manage time. And I will tell you what the problem is. The problem is the phrase, time management. 100% of those books deal with management. None of them deal with time. What they teach you is not how to manage time. They teach you how to change your behavior so that you will be more effective or efficient during that particular packet of time, whether it's a minute or an hour or a week or a year, whatever it might be. Would you agree? They train you to change your behavior. Well, I currently have decided that I don't have time to write a whole book, so what I've created is a series of books called 28 Pages. And anything I write on, I only write 28 pages. And I can make that work. And the current one I'm working on is Time, a User's Manual. Because none of us have time. We just get to use it. So, what I've discovered in my research for this book is that time is easy. It's the easiest asset for us to learn about. Because it's universal. Every one of us has it to use. It's easy to measure. We've created minutes, hours, weeks, years, solar calendars, eclipses, everything, so we can do that. It has a beginning and, unfortunately, an end. And it only goes in one direction. So all of those things make it very easy to measure and to keep track of. So it's easy for us to measure it and say that we think that we are able to control it. But the way humans work is we think in pictures. So we have many, many metaphors to try and explain this concept of something that is part of all of our lives. They talk about time being the stage on which you play out the drama of your life. Or it's the field on which you play the game of life. Or it's the space within which you juggle all of the elements of life. The way I like to think of it is I like to think of it as an ocean. Everybody take a deep breath. I used to teach physics. I talk about the fact that we live in an ocean of air. But you can't feel it unless you're moving so fast it makes your hair go like this, or if it rushes by you really quickly. And isn't that kind of the same way we feel about time? Until something dramatic happens or it rushes past us super fast, we don't really pay that much attention to it. So, when you're talking about this ocean that we're in, I'm picturing it as an ocean that the day you take your first breath, you step into the ocean. And then the day you take your last breath, you step out of the ocean. And everything that you experience, everything that you accomplish, happens within that ocean of time. It's not something you can manage. In fact, I like to think of it as that time is an opportunity that you have to to experience and to have an impact on life. We call it minutes and hours and weeks. But if you've ever seen a cross on the side of the road, I get a shiver every time I see a cross on the side of the road. My mother was killed by a drunk driver when I was 7. The phrase we hear most often is, I thought I'd have more time. You have what you have. You have 1,000 or 1,000,000 or 10 million seconds of opportunity to use, to experience life, and to have an impact on the people who are around you. So yes, 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 manage your behavior. It'll make you feel like you're accomplishing something, and you'll be able to take maybe a little better use of the opportunities that you have. So manage your behavior, but please do make the most of your opportunities, because time